I'm a lady, I am. November 1993 came storming in with the cold gusts of despair, charging up one street and down the other like a purposeful platoon of winter-garbed troops, unwavering in their quest to flush out all forms of life, only to leave them cold, naked, and homeless on their frigid streets. The onslaught of winter had arrived once more, and Phoebe shuddered with a vocal anguish in the airspace about her for the cold, unbearable days she knew were up ahead. Phoebe, a woman of undeterminable age, had been living on the streets of the city for some time now. She could not remember any previous life other than her present one, as day in and day out. Phoebe tried to eke out a narrow living via handouts and whatever she could beg, borrow, or steal. Every now and then Phoebe would find a treasure in the well-picked surrounding garbage piles, or on the street dropped by some unknowing person. Versed bartering phrase over the years, on this cold windy night Phoebe bundled up in her bits and pieces and dragged her cart behind her, was heading for her newly found corner in the alley. Suddenly the blackness of the night surrendered to the explosion of noise and color with blinking spectacle of scarlet, amber, and blue as police cars, fire truck, and ambulances arrived simultaneously on the scene to witness yet another incident displayed on the streets. An age-old jungle of life and death. Phoebe, with muttered words, left in the wind behind her. I saw nothing, I heard nothing, I know nothing, quickly disappeared into the remaining shadows of the night, dragging her cart behind her. Then, far enough away from the unwelcome onslaught of noise and lights, Phoebe paused to rest a bit and get her bearings. The street she had turned down was unfamiliar to her. She now had to find another place to sleep this night. Looking about, she noticed a shop with an old sign swinging in the wind above the door. Phoebe could make out the words "Shop of Curiosities." As she drew closer to the store window, Phoebe could see another world depicted through the glass. Yet it did look somewhat familiar. It appeared to be a marketplace or something like that. With her nose and eyes glued to the window, she could make out all kinds of people. They seemed to be selling stuff. All kinds of stuff, she thought. Then Phoebe noticed a paper taped to the bottom corner of the window explaining the scene in front of her. A typical fall day at the marketplace in 19th century England. The life of the poor people of London, as viewed by Henry Mayhew and his friend Charles Dickens, both young reporters with the London newspaper. It went on to describe the various peddlers to be seen everywhere at that time, and most of whom had something to peddle. Phoebe peered closer and could see a costermonger hawking his vegetables, an apple peddler. There was even a rag and bone man with his pots and pans, baskets, as well as rags and bones in his pushcart. She also saw that there were children peddlers everywhere. Phoebe went back to the taped paper to read some more. It said that the children, having no formal education, were quite talented at selling items to the working class, strolling through the marketplace. Phoebe could almost hear their high-pitched, shrill voices calling, "What you buy? What you like?